Hello everyone, it's your friendly neighborhood Ether Goblin here, and I want to take the very first video on this channel on January 17th of 2025 to launch this channel by taking a nostalgia bomb back 10 years ago on this very day when I started my original channel, TheCriminalViolin. I want to go back through not just the history of me as a commentator or me in terms of the quality of the content or the games I played, but also take you through some of my fondest memories, the people I met along the way and collaborated with, and how the community of gaming on YouTube has shifted and changed so much over these last 10 years, to where there's even entirely extinct channels now that have been extinct for years. One of them actually is, well, at least I should say was, my favorite of all time when I first launched that channel, TheCriminalViolin. I launched TheCriminalViolin 10 years ago today, January 17th, 2015, with the goal to be creating gaming content. And it started out that way, and it was that way for many, many years. In fact, most of the time that channel has been around. Now it's exclusively basically a commentary, urbanism, transit, and XJW, I guess, channel, if that makes any sense, at least for the moment, and has been, along with geography, has been for the last couple of years, really. Now, the gaming moves here to this channel, and thus it comes full circle, especially considering it's been 10 years. So I was technically 20 when I started this channel, as you see on the screen right here, TheCriminalViolin. This right here in the upper left, as you can see, is my oldest video. This is the very first video I uploaded. I did start with Roblox, and I also started with Happy Wheels, because those are two free games, because I didn't have an income at the time. And I saved up some money so I could finally buy Minecraft. That's where it gets interesting, and I guess we could start to dig in to my channel beginnings. What inspired me, and who inspired me, therefore, here on YouTube to begin to create gaming content? And that was none other than Fire UK. And they had been creating content for years, at least a half a decade prior to when I started. And they inspired me so much. It wasn't just them. Well, really, they're the ones who are the most dominant contributor to my inspiration and my desire to create a content creation channel, you know, a channel dedicated to actually creating gaming content. Fire UK is fucking awesome. I need to go back for a nostalgia bomb and just watch some of my favorite builds that they did, because they did builds in Minecraft, and it was so freaking awesome. I loved how wildly detailed that they did it. I also thought it was insane how incredibly perfect that they were able to make it into pure cinematography. I don't know how the fuck they did that, especially way back then, because I don't think those mods to enable certain players to be able to function like a cinematic camera to do that. It was just profoundly interesting to me. And the builds they did were so high quality, or so wildly detailed. God, I loved the life out of them. And I've always been a sandbox creative type of person, so that's what really got me going. And in fact, I might as well mention this now. What led me to even discover them, or any gaming YouTubers, ironically, was my sister, my older sister, Erica. Because I was talking to her about how I so badly wished there was a game that would allow me, like, ultimate freedom. Just to be able to do whatever the fuck I wanted to. Create whatever the fuck I wanted to. Play it how I wanted to. Which I didn't realize at the time, that was what they call sandbox. Or at least what sandboxes are supposed to be. Most sandboxes are not that way. They're still pretty restrictive, but still. And so she told me about this little game called Minecraft. The tale is old as time, I tell you. And it's because I was like an old grandma curmudgeon. I had the strongest disdain for gaming content creators. I thought that was the dumbest, most stupid waste of time. It was so idiotic. And so I was resisting because I'm a stubborn son of a bitch. I am one of the most stubborn people you'll ever meet. And so, you know, I was holding out on it. I'm like, I don't want to do it. One day, and I think it was 2012, I finally gave in. It might have been 2011. I think it was 2012. I finally gave in. I guess it had been 2011. I finally gave in. I said, fuck it. I'll look up this game. And I quickly found out there was something called creative mode. So obviously that's what I looked up for it. And I found the Minecraft builds from Fire UK. That's where this all began, was just from that. And I was obsessed from there, especially with, in this case, the build to Fire UK, and really badly wanted to do that. People like James Turner, aka Flabaliki, is actually the one I discovered him under, because it's still him. So if you know of James Turner, you know of Flabaliki probably, because that's actually his original channel. But yeah. And then Chimney Swift, and I has Cupquake. There was obviously a good handful of others. And then through that, I wound up deciding to, I heard about this Gmod game, so I decided to start watching that. And this was before I realized that Captain Sparkles was doing that, before I officially delved into his content. So Jordan Marin. So then I went and I dove into, I ended up trying out, I think, yeah, it was Markiplier I was still watching. And then he started playing that. And then that's actually how I heard about, once again, Jordan, so Captain Sparkles. But I also heard about Adam. And then there's multiple Adams. There's C. Nanner's Adam, and then there's Adam Dahlberg. Yes, that one. The one you're thinking of that's like, damn. Either you really hate his guts, or you're bittersweetly thinking back to your memories growing up with him and his channel, Sky Does Minecraft. Yeah. So later on, that's what went from inspiring me to really like watching gaming content and actually getting into gaming myself more than I ever had been. But also, once I got to that second batch, like the Markipliers, and especially like the Adam Dahlbergs and the groups that they were around, Z-Royal Viking, right? All of those guys. That's when Gassy Mexican, actually, originally, from all the obsessive amounts of prop hunt he output originally on YouTube. That was my shtick, right? That was the catalyst, the rocket up my ass that sent me into the stratosphere. Is like, I want to do this, because there was camaraderie there. And so I relate in a lot of relations since I've related. So this was something I'm like, this feels very me. Like, this feels like it's my tribe, I guess is really the better way to put it. And so that sent me on the journey to create this channel in 2014, actually, the TheCriminalViolin, that is. And then in 2015, January 17th, officially start my journey as a content creator. Thus we get these first videos, the Roblox, Happy Wheels. I'm going to completely ignore the NBA 2K stuff. And of course, eventually, Minecraft. And my first ever series, as you can see, was Minecraft Survival. I still have that save, I'm pretty fucking sure. I could play it. I could start it over right now and just continue as if I never left it almost a decade ago. Oh man, but that's when I started, man. I still remember a lot of shit from the Minecraft series. Squeaky voice in a dungeon. I mean, like, I remember that exact moment super well. And it's kind of wild to look at these things, you know. Because, and think back, because these very first videos I have here had no commentary. It was just the game's audio, because I didn't have a microphone. I didn't own one. I didn't have anything that would work that way. I didn't even have a pair of headphones, actually. So it wouldn't have worked anyway very well. But eventually, and I totally didn't just steal it for myself, I indefinitely borrowed, procured a device that could allow me to have a microphone and a headset, or, you know, headphones. And that was, of course, a headset. A very cheap, very chintzy, very crappy quality headset. It's all at 482. Roblox, at least at the time, it might still have it, had an in-game game capture ability. So actually, that's what I was using for the Roblox footage, at least initially, was the in-game feature. And I think it took me a while to realize that in Roblox, that in-game recording feature, at least at the time, you could at least, I think it was at least to 720. It might have been 1080, but I'm pretty sure it was 720, which was really interesting, to say the least. So as a result, this was all 480, which is terrible. I remembered being decent at this game, but I enjoyed better. I enjoyed being the Slenderman myself better. See, like, in retrospect, you could cut all this wasted space out if you wanted to, you know? But, alas. Yeah, I still remember this a lot, but I loved this because it's very up my alley for like being like a cat or a dick. You're just a furry dick. You're just trying to be a cat, in other words, and fuck with people and scare the shit out of them. And so I love doing that more than I did winning, which is, I don't know, it's just really fun, cool. This was really bad because I also used Windows Movie Maker to do these things.
Hello everybody, and welcome to Stop It Slender in Roblox.
It's so funny how I feel embarrassed to hear myself too. That's so funny. I genuinely
Fortunately for me, I started the audio recording and forgot to start the actual game recording.
But you can just hear like how horrible quality the audio was on that damn thing. On the headset. It's incredible how bad it was. But yeah, so the evolution was interesting of the like the microphones I had, because I had this really crappy archaic headset that was, I think, bought like for 20 bucks at a Rite Aid like in 2009 or something. And then that had been collecting dust. And then after that, after a relatively short period, I moved on to a Blue Yeti Snowball. I had that for the longest time. I used it for the longest time. Behind this pillowcase that I have set up these days, in there, you actually will see the Blue Snowball. So if you actually go back, not too far back in time on this channel, you will see into that, and you will see the Blue Snowball. You will also see a box that says Fi-Fine on it. That's the next microphone that I got myself. And then I have the current one, which is a Samsung Q2U. And it's the best microphone I've ever had. And it was actually slightly cheaper than both of them, I believe. Well, actually, no. I think it was slightly more expensive than the Snowball. Slightly cheaper than the Fi-Fine. But the Fi-Fine's still fine. No pun intended. It works great. But it's just, you know, the quality's not bad at all. But it's just, I don't know. I prefer this one for whatever reason. I don't know if it's just psychological or what. But yeah. Cookie Monster Swig. Not swag. Swig. Or Svig, technically. Which I had a lot of fun with. I remember so well, vividly, when I created Cookie Monster Swag, the skin for the Cookie Monster Swag. Rainbow Cookie Monster.
Punch, 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 punch.
See, you can even tell who I watched at the time. The punch, 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 punch. And all that, because that was Jerome ASF and Bayesian Canadian, so Mitch and Jerome. And Preston, which is TBNR Frags 1 and 2. It's not quality enough. Look at the bars. I'm upset.
On my back.
Yep, showing off the Cookie Monster Swag. Beautiful. I love how I accidentally made this face too on the back. It was super cool. And this is still my Minecraft skin. I still, on the occasion I play Minecraft, and I will certainly on this channel be playing Minecraft again, because it is still fun. Yeah. And this skin, by the way, and this whole my username, in fact, in Minecraft, it has a very unique backstory to it that's kind of, at least for me, I feel like it's very fun. Because before I started doing YouTube, and thus before I bought myself Minecraft, there was a game. It might still be made, probably isn't. If it is, it's probably changed to like educational instead. But there was a game that was a knockoff of it that was open source, I think, called Minetest. And I was pretty intent on actually playing that instead of Minecraft until I got my hands on Minecraft. But that's what I played. And so that's how I got my experience with Minecraft without it being in Minecraft, if that makes any sense. So the way, at least back then, in like 2014, right? 2013, 2015, it was when you set up a world, a save, you have two different naming slots. One is to be your actual username, and the other one is to be the world name. And I flipped them around. In my head, when I was reading on those two bars, made sense to me that they were in that order. AKA, the screen name, the username, was to be the world name, and vice versa. So I didn't call myself Oploon Test. I called myself something different. Or so I thought. I thought I was calling the world Oploon Test, like Oploon from Norway. And test, because it was a test world. I was testing the game, right? So, but no, it became my username. Because apparently I misunderstood and I flipped them around. I think my personal favorite series I've ever done is Minecraft Randomized Survival, though. to be honest with you. Well, actually, no. I guess behind 7 Days to Die multiplayer, actually. That's been a blast. This is probably tied for my favorite, or just barely behind in the second favorite, because it's just, I don't know, there was something about it that I just loved and felt so personalized with it. Like, I had never seen a series that was done using the world randomization feature. And the way the world rendered was super freaking cool, and I loved it. And it got so personal for me. Like, I was able to build this really cool mountain base into it, and then eventually a little bit outside it on the edges and on top of it and through it, basically. It was really fun and really cool. And you had this big ass lake next to you, and surrounded by nothing but gravel. And then you had this big old village over across the other side of the lake on top of a smaller hill. You had this really cool tundra biome, snow biome in the back to the right. A lot of lava, open lava, and cave systems you could come across. It was so freaking cool. Dude, this is one of my most nostalgic favorite series I ever did. And then, of course, I made a ton, and I mean a ton, of content in NASCAR Rumble, because that's one of my favorite PlayStation 1 games, is NASCAR Rumble. It's so fun. I love the dumb commentary that they had this like voice acting legend to do. But no, I can't remember the dude's name ever. It's one of the most like basic American names you'll ever hear, both first and last. So predictable. And that's usually why I can't remember names, is because of the fact that they are simplistic. It's a lot of fun, and it's super interesting to me to look back in history. As you can see, I attempted to start a series in CK2, Crusader Kings 2, a Paradox Grand strategy game. The best part of this was I've always been terrible at games. Like, me and my mom are the same way. We hit a plateau where, like, we have a maximum amount we can learn and a maximum amount we can improve, and then it's a permanent ceiling where we just smash our heads against, and we cannot get past this fucking ceiling with our heads. We're just forced to be only that good for whatever reason. It's like we just have a wall of learning where we cannot get any better. It's the weirdest thing. That's why with 7 Days to Die, I've always been kind of surprised at how good I was at that game, because it just doesn't happen ever in any game. So it was just like super interesting and fun to me that was the case. And so playing a grand strategy game probably wasn't very smart, especially if you're not using any cheats, or in this case, technically it's not cheats if it's in the game. To me, it's not cheating if it's in the code. If it's programmed into the game, the developers intended for it to be used, and therefore cannot be considered cheats. Thank you, good night. Now, that said, unless I was using that, but I didn't know about console commands back then. So I didn't even know that was a possibility, and I didn't think of cheats. So this only going for the single episode is hilariously on the nose and expected. During the period that I started to do YouTube, and like just before it, of all things I got into, which even to this day, I'm still stunned that I found myself really enjoying watching these series. But it was this group of people, the creators, that are still, some of them at least are still going on YouTube. And so one of them you're probably are going to be really familiar with. They all did consistent series playing CK2, EU4, EU3, Vicky 2, Hoi 4 and 3, and all the other grand strategy games of Paradox. The group that I'm talking about, to me, kind of the head of it, so to speak, was, or the lead of, so to speak, was Quill 18. There's also, of course, Shenra, Calvin, Northern Lion, and Arumba. And I feel like actually two of them probably, Arumba and Northern Lion are probably the two of the group that most of people, especially in the gaming community online, whether it's Twitch or YouTube, are going to be most familiar with. Arumba, because a handful of years ago, and I didn't even know this until years after, he had joined the clan, the group of Vanos, sorry. I don't know why I said Vanos. Of Vanos. So he joined the Vanos crew. This is so horrible of a custom thumbnail. It looks like it's made by like a 5 or 8 year old in Paint Shop. And I know I did use Paint Shop, or not Paint Shop, sorry. What I meant is Microsoft Paint. And I did use Microsoft Paint. I used it for years. Oh yeah, and then there's this cool indie game. There a new take on Spore, which is called Species ALRE. Artificial Life Real Evolution is what it was. and I actually had a lot of good time with it. It was very buggy, a lot of frame drops, but well worth my time. I genuinely enjoyed it. And again, now by the name Crashing Exploding, you can immediately tell who dominated the amount of time I was watching, which again, I think is just super interesting and fun to do. But this game probably isn't being developed anymore, because that would be, well, like a decade of plus of development. I got it via itch. It was a really cool game though, and I still, if it is still being developed, I'm probably going to dive into it again. Actually, now that I think about it, that's a good idea. Oh yeah, and then here we go. My first time trying to test and use Facecam.
Hello everybody. This is Danny and he's with the Criminal Violin here. And today we are going to test something.
The fuck? It's my grandma's closet, by the way, in the background. Well, in one of the rooms. This was her sewing room before I went and took it over. And if I wasn't the one who took it over, my brother Nathan would have done it. He normally did. I kicked him to the futon in the living room. And this became my room ever since, when I lived with my grandma and my mom for 5 years, and eventually him for a while too. I'm pretty sure that was a Kindle Fire that I was using for Facecam. I'm pretty damn confident that's the case. I think it recorded like 540p or some weird resolution like that. There's some nice little lore for you. By the way, 9 years ago, this is how wild it is to realize how much time has gone by the way. For nostalgia bombs, for anybody who's been around the Minecraft community online on YouTube for a long time, it's been 9 years since season 2, I think, at the end of season 1. I think it was a between period between season 1 and season 2. Although technically it's actually season 2 and season 3, because Jordan, Captain Sparkles, got invited to the second season, and thus the third one. He wasn't there in the first one. But anyway, and so yeah, so it was technically season 2 and season 3, and it was between season 2 and season 3, I believe, that this Temple of Mianite video I did, and I came out with it after I saw Captain Sparkles do the same thing. It is extremely interesting to me that it's been 9+ years since that date, because it does not feel like it's been that long. It feels like it's been maybe 5 years ago that the series ended. It's been a decade. What the hell, dude? And like, you think about all of the changes just amongst the people involved in that project over those years. Like Sonia and Tucker breaking up when they were together for a long time. And so like both of them together were a staple for so long on Twitch mainly, but also here on YouTube. And then they broke up. I think they technically broke up actually also in between season 2 and 3. Yeah, they did. That was a lot 9 years ago. What? And then on top of that, I think Tom Cassell, so Syndicate, I'm pretty sure was like 18 or 19 in season 3. Or in this case, 9 years ago. Think about that. What? And now Tom owns his dream property, which is vast out there in the Midlands of England, obviously. And I say really not the Midlands, but you know, the middle of England. And he has this big factory that he's building basically for his Syndicate original brand. And he has a kid, and him and Lydia finally got married and had their kid. Yeah, I just like, think about how wild it is that like what can happen in just 9 years, let alone 10 years, and how much changes, how much world and personal history happens in that time. How much change. Humans have the weirdest conception of time, and like where it's like, oh, you can die literally at 80 years old, and people will genuinely insist, sometimes with anger, that it's too short of a time. It's not enough. Do you not understand how much is packed in 5 years, let alone 10 or 15 or 20 or 35 or 49 or 76 or 103? Let it sink in, man. Look throughout that past, those amount of years, and think about just how much has changed, just how much is new, just how much world history and personal history transpired. I mean, that's crazy. And a lot of times we lose track of that time because it goes by so fast. like that. It's been that long. That is insane to me. Like, some of these other ones, I didn't say it, but some of these other videos, I'm like, I swear that was way more recent than that. Like, by at least 3 years. But apparently not. Like, how insane is that to have to conceive? I was gonna say, is this Brian? Brian was before Nikki? Really? You are kidding me. That is incredible. I did not realize that. I actually feel like it's Nikki. Apparently it was Brian. Holy crap, man. Dude, that's absolutely insane. That means that Brian's like 24 now, I think. I think he was like 14 when we collaborated. So I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure. So that means he's 20 fucking 4. Can you believe he probably doesn't even live in Reno anymore, right? Because like most people are gonna say, who the fuck lives in Reno by choice? Honestly, no, I probably wouldn't like it because it's high desert. But still, like I wouldn't mind it that bad. I have a very fond memory from when I was 3. Yes, 3. 1997. We're talking about almost 20 years ago. Yeah, I'm mathing right. That's 8. Oh, sorry, no. It's almost 30 years ago. I'm very smart, yeah. White guy math on display, full display. Holy shit. That is bad, bro. But yeah, I really enjoyed my time, and that's what I'm trying to get to way quicker than I have. It's already 53 minutes in. I am a problem. I'm all the problems and more in one. Set fact aside, I remember all of the people I collaborated with so vividly. I have the utmost gratitude and happiness knowing that I had the experiences I did with collaborating with these people. It's just like, I remember that so vividly. I remember Royal Gamer. I remember Haleen. I remember Aiden. Aiden's probably my favorite person I've ever collaborated with. He feels like a little brother to me. Even to this day, like, we waited like 3 or 4 years between the times we collaborated, actually. And then I did the whole thing with the sessions in GTA 5 with him. And it was like we didn't miss a beat. Like, nothing changed. It was flippin' awesome, dude. Like, he had a job at that point. He was still in college. I don't think he is anymore. I'm pretty sure it's been long enough that he's not in college anymore. I'm pretty sure he graduated it. In fact, I know he did. He has a girlfriend he's had for years. Like, you just think about like how much has changed. It's insane, because he was in high school at that point too. He was intent for a long time on playing baseball professionally, and then he ended up going into photography and graphic design instead in college, and he dumped off baseball ever since then. And I know he wouldn't look back and regret it at all. The cool thing about collaborating with Nikki was the fact that we clicked together really well, in the sense that even though she was a teenager in high school, right, she clearly didn't have any of the typical clickiness or the typical, like, I am an adult and I will be treated as such, kind of like almost ego tripping that like most kids when they're teenagers have. They're super rebellious. They're super rigid. They're just like, fuck you, fuck this, fuck everything. Nobody understands me. Listens religiously to him and is always cutting. No, but that's more middle school girls. No, what I'm referring to goes to Torrid, Hot Topic, and American Eagle exclusively. He gets piercings at Claire's. No, trust me, I grew up with my sister. I know how that works. Anyway, nah, but it was super cool because she was like a childlike free spirit, and I always have been that way. So like being able to click back to my own childhood and let a lot of that loose and free flowing, and it allowed me to be myself more, and it allowed me to feel a lot more free and really comfortable and happy. And so I always had a blast with her, because we could talk about the most random shit. We could improv the most stupid things together, and we would do it. It was the most naturally flowing conversations ever about absolutely nothing usually. And it was just a lot of fun. Random hyper outbursts out of nowhere about the most random shit, like just Tourette's level shit. Tourette's out of a turret level outbursts. That was a plentiful there, because it makes me so happy whenever I get to do that with somebody, because that's part of my tribe right there. You know, that just makes me feel so happy every time. And so collaborating with her was just a blast every time. And with her came a lot of my catchphrases that I had for years, like squirrels, ducks, and donuts. The meaning of life and love is squirrels, ducks, and donuts, right? That kind of stuff. And then the random moment, I just randomly out of absolutely nowhere screamed Chewbacca for no reason. And the fucking laugh and giggles afterward from her were fucking amazing because it was unexpected. The very first videos that like properly got a lot of views from on my channel was the invite I got from the MC Parks, yeah, Minecraft Parks developers, to go to Disneyland here, and then go to do videos on the premiere, right? The launch of the Busch Garden server. And so I did this tour of the Busch Parks thing that I did with them. And it wasn't like an official partnership. Like nothing was signed. There was no payment or anything. It was a volunteer opportunity basically. But I was happy to do it. I thought it was pretty fun. And yeah, I got 5,000 views for the first one and like about 1,000 for the next one. And it blew my mind. I thought, this is so damn cool. I love this. This is so unexpected, you know? But it worked. And I loved that. And this dude, I remember, we just randomly adopted each other basically. And so I think it was the whole time. Yeah, see, there he is again. Me and this person just randomly clicked with each other. We just randomly attached to each other like magnets. And just like, all of a sudden I had this tail, which was a lion. And yeah, so I had this random friend while I was there, whoever the heck this was. I don't even think it was a staff member. I'm pretty sure, or a mod. I'm pretty sure this was literally just a random visitor to the park in the game. And I remember how much fun I had with it. Like, it was just kind of fun to be able to do a little bit of chatting in game with them and everything else. And in game, I mean literally typing, right? I remember that was really cool. And yeah, it was my first time ever getting anywhere beyond the usual, like, as you can see, like 5-6 views, maybe 10 or 20 if I was lucky. Actually, that's right. The only other videos that ever got, I guess technically the first views I ever had video that got to over 1,000 was actually this one, the Ant Simulator one. And the first ones I ever had that went 100 or over and relatively consistently was actually my, as you can see, my NASCAR Rumble videos. So that was really freaking cool. And I was really excited and had a lot of fun with that. I thought it was super, super awesome that things were going that way. And I thought, oh, this is a chance for proper growth. It wasn't. No, it was not. I was denied. It was entirely coincidental. People did it. They genuinely liked it. They interacted, but they refused to subscribe. I forgot about Universal Treasures. Minecraft Universal Treasures and Lava Island. Universal Treasures was fun because it was a completely random idea I had where I would just randomly go like weeks, if not months ahead of time, create a save world, go and randomly hide chests with random items in them throughout a certain area of the world as much as I could. So that then I could go locate them and find them and have a lot of fun with it because I am not very good at games, and thus I'm not very good at progression. So being able to just randomly get these cool ass items, I thought was a cool concept, especially considering like nobody ever does that. So why the fuck not? I don't even think there's still a series that exists like that on YouTube and in the Minecraft community. It was just a concept I came up with, and I thought this actually makes it really fun and really cool. Anyway, so as you can see now, this is what the Criminal Violin is all about. It's commentaries, opinions, perspectives, experiences, reviews / reactions, some facetious stuff that everybody got pissed about because they're all roundabout whores. Remember, if you have moderate to severe Crohn's disease, ask your doctor if building another roundabout is right for you. Just one more, that's all we need. It'll fix everything. Of course, XJW content, because I am an XJW, so there you go. Normally, I would never cross-promote stuff that I don't feel like matches what people care about or interested in. And this isn't technically cross-promotion, more as just, again, showing how, with history, my focus and the type of content I release on this channel has shifted heavily. Because here's all the old videos again. It just went back to old. What is happening? That is so stupid. Are you fucking kidding me? Apparently it's just broken. Look at this. It's broken beyond repair. I don't know what's happening. The majority of content on the Criminal Violin, and it will be for a long time, is clearly gaming content. Because that's the bulk load of this 10 years I've been doing this, has been producing gaming content. So all of that content is not going to leave the Criminal Violin. It's a part of its history. So I'm an archivist type of mind. I like to leave things as they were, so that you can go back and see the evolution and how things have changed and shifted and everything else, improved, whatever else. And that's the purpose of an archive. An archive. Archive. Far-fetched. And so this is what all of my channels are going to serve as, pretty much. So in this case, if you want to go and see some of the old episodes and series of things, whether they're my original ones from like literally 10 years ago, 9 years ago, or the more recent ones like the 7 Days to Die multiplayer, which I highly recommend. I think it's funny, I think it's fun and cool. And by the way, you will be seeing references to it here on Ether Goblin, because yes, I'm going to be making something I've been intending to make for years. I just don't want to spend the time to do it, but I've actually dedicated myself to it. So I've been spending a lot of hours each day editing the damn thing. And it's a pain to edit because there's a lot of VODisodes, meaning they're like as live stream VOD. So it's just the whole recording raw as it was recorded, no edits whatsoever. And a lot of those sessions were 3 to like 6.5 hours. And I have to sift through those still just to get through the first season. That is the first season exclusively, by the way, had VODisodes. The rest were all edited in season 2 and 3. So it's not as much of a pain to watch. But I'm doing a progression highlight video, and then I'm going to be doing a funny moments video, I think. Or not think, I know I'm going to be doing that next. And highlights and stuff like that. My favorite moments, basically, from the series, from all 3 seasons. And those you can expect, and probably, therefore, that one will probably be multiple videos. So you can expect to see those on the channel, too. And ultimately, I am going to be branching out and trying way more new things and doing way more new things on this channel right here as your friendly neighborhood Ether Goblin than I ever did on the Criminal Violin these 10 years. Hopefully there's going to be a lot of improvements. Hopefully there's going to be a lot of new things, new fancy fandangled things. You see my other channels, Blue Sleuth and Trippin' Outdoors, and of course the Criminal Violin. Some of the music you're going to hear on this channel when it comes up and shows up is going to be my music exclusively. So you're going to be hearing my music, unless it's elevator music. If you hear elevator music, no, it's not my music. But sometimes it's just good to use true, proper, crappy elevator music because it's just humorous and fun for shits and giggles. But yeah, you can expect also a lot of different unique content relating to gaming. It's not even just be gameplay. It's going to be game reviews. It's going to be reactions. It's going to be actual like nostalgia bombs. I have a nostalgia bomb set of videos coming out on some of our favorite websites for those of us who are true millennials, those born in the 90s and raised in the 90s and 2000s. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to be able to output those and potentially even start maybe a series on playing that website if their promises turn out to be true and they really do listen to the community and they really do revert it back to its heydays. And I cannot wait to nostalgia bomb you with those videos. A lot of different fun things like this are coming. And there's going to be a lot more to look forward to here on Ether Goblin. So please join your friendly neighborhood Ether Goblin. And let's just be goofy, unserious, non-fastidious, and just have as much fun as possible. Kicking it, playing games, making shit-ass jokes, even potentially offensive ones. Let's just have a lot of fun. Today, this onslaught, this haunting starts. This channel officially launches. And in a very poetically historic way. For me, at least. I'm looking forward to producing a lot of good content. So join me, and maybe we can even build a community where we can actually share and have some cool multiplayer series or concepts that show up as well. Until next time, thank you so much for watching, and let's launch this sucker into the stratosphere.